Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Eric Fiskus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
That was the smooth stylings of the Play It By Ear podcast. Yeah. Here on Smooth 95.
Cha-cha. If I had one of those deep buttery voices, that would be really cool, but I don't.
Buttery.
Buttress of Windsor.
Yes. Thank you, Savannah. Savannah welcomes us back. How long has it been? Baseball season has consumed me. Apologies.
Rain.
Where do I get these? Okay.
Baseball.
I remember. Chat's out. The chat was hidden.
Hey, dude, mine too. I swear it was at a different place. There's a different look than the last time we were on here.
I think it did update some. It does look a little different.
Different.
Yeah, so we've had some more life events since we've been gone. Todd, your daughter Riley has chosen a destination.
Yes, she has chosen a destination. She's following her old man's. Yes, North up. She has chosen Northern Kentucky University, SOTA, School of Theater and Dance. Or just theater arts, I guess.
Congratulations, Riley.
Probably
into your other fruit of your loin. A happy belated birthday to the E-Man.
He's born on May 4th.
May the 4th.
And we have to give a shout out to props. Our friend and longtime listener, Mr. Kyle Brewer, hit a milestone birthday yesterday.
Oh,
he joins the 40 party.
Oh, he's also May 4th.
Bravo,
40. Getting up there.
Yep. It's all downhill from there.
Which I was telling him last night when I talked to him, man, we got to get this man on. He had another incident with wildlife, with flora and fauna gone amok. We could do a whole segment of his animal stories.
The Marlon Perkins of the Play It By Ear podcast. Savannah's checked in. I don't know if anyone else is out there or not. I don't know whatever happened to my little meter. I can tell how many people are in the room. It went away. But if you're there, let us know. Or if not, I guess we'll just go on and chat amongst ourselves along with Savannah. I don't know if John is sitting there with Savannah. Maybe we have two listeners. But
I know that historians joined in.
Yeah. If you're listening, if you're joined in, share us.
Yes, please.
Share it to your. They can share it while watching, can't they? Can't they share it to their?
I think so.
Page? Yeah.
Should be able to.
Yeah.
All right. So since it has. Go ahead.
I just said we don't bite. Come on in. Get close. We don't bite.
Not too hard.
No.
All right. Since it has been a while, if you've not been with us before or you've forgotten, we do a couple different topics. We talk them to death and we move forward with life. So there you go. So
Pretty
John
much.
and Savannah have checked in.
Gist.
That is a gist. We are in the order of how we will deliver our topics. Todd and Brady have the topics for the evening. Todd will start us out, but first, here are our platforms right above our heads.
That's how I was born, but first.
I know you. Breach. He's a breach. I know you all can't. So I wish you could all hear these sound effects and see these things that I see up here. And Kenny Inlow just liked this or something and went, wow, and his name came up in the corner of my screen. Interesting.
Yes, I don't like
What did it do again?
I don't like not having privy.
That's what it sounded like. There it is again.
We are privyless. We're privyless.
Yeah. Kenny is causing sound effects. Richard is with us. Welcome, Richard.
Richard.
All right. So again, here's our platforms right above our heads. Facebook, X, and Instagrams are the social media platforms. YouTube's, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitch, Rumble, and iHeartRadio. Celia.
Loud.
Loud. Meow, meow.
We got 2 funnies from Richard. 2 funnies.
Oh,
Nice.
The funny guys. All right. We've gone up in the world.
Right. Thank you, Richard. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Todd. Now all that the preliminaries are over with, you have the floor, sir.
No pressure after Richard deemed us funny.
And now you guys will have to live up to.
See if we can earn that 3rd funny. And what better way to do that with a little bit of classic Am I the asshole?
Or the and use.
Yeah.
Or the and use. So just to go over how this started way back. Eric was the one, I think. Was it Eric that you said something? There was a subreddit.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole subreddit? And we started doing it, and it went really well. As a matter of fact, this was one of the segments we did at our live podcast, and it went really well. So we bring it back here and there every now and again. And so the way I know when I do this, I think Brady does it the same way. I don't read these ahead of time. So the first time I read them is with you guys. I do skim through and look for headings that look
curse words.
Right. So the first one, am I the asshole for asking the construction workers to not use my bathroom?
Oh, I could see where this is going. So to speak.
Not sure if this is NSFW, but just in case. I'm doing construction at my place, and the construction workers are here from 7 to 3 p.m. every day. One of them asked me last week if he could use the bathroom. If there's one thing I consider sacred in life, it's the bathroom. It's my private space. It's where I'm the most vulnerable. It's where I feel safe, and I'm absolutely revolted if it's not proper. But the guys had been here for 7 hours, so of course they need to go at some point. I let him go and brace myself for the worst while psyching myself up to the idea that perhaps I was overreacting. I was wrong. The dude didn't turn the fan on and didn't even flush correctly. So it was absolutely disgusting when I wanted to use it later that day. How do you flush correctly?
You don't clog up the toilet, I guess.
Well, there's only one. I mean, there's bad end results, but there's only one way to flush. Just push down.
Yesterday, the cleaning team arrived and left everything sparkling clean once again. The second they left, the same construction guy knocked on the door and told me he had been waiting for the cleaning ladies to leave so he could use the bathroom again.
As would I.
He's an opportunist poopist.
That is awesome.
Oh,
I was aghast. My boyfriend told him he could use it, and I was furious because I told him what he had done last week. My boyfriend had been traveling, so he didn't see the massacre. He used it again. He used it again a couple hours later, and then once again. I went in when he was finally gone, and he left it worse than a public toilet at a music festival. It was absolutely disgusting. So, of course, I was livid because I think it's an absolute lack of respect to not clean after yourself, especially if you're not even aiming correctly. Hang on a minute. Aiming correctly. So I'm assuming this is a stand-up job.
So legit question here, and I'm sure the women will jump up and say that this is a dumb question. How bad could you leave the bathroom if you didn't quote unquote aim correctly? As I'm assuming you're urinating, unless you just fire hosed all over the bathroom.
Oh yeah, like a toddler grabbing a fire hose. But now, go ahead. I'll opine here in a moment.
I'm getting some mixed sick because I think earlier, I don't think we were talking number one.
I think we were talking about a graffiti artist job.
Because you don't turn a Jackson Pollock, if you will. I don't think you. It's the only art joke I know right there, guys. It's the only, but I don't think you need to turn a fan on if it's otherwise. You know what I mean?
Unless
today the same construction worker
rancid.
Yeah. Unless you have that, unless you've been eating a lot of asparagus. Yeah.
Asparagus.
Today, the same construction worker wanted to use it, and I told him he could go to the supermarket across the street. He was shocked, and my boyfriend told me I was being rude and ridiculous, so I had to go apologize and let them use the bathroom again. I blew up and told him there's no way I'm apologizing as long as I'm the one who either has to pay to clean it or has to clean it himself. I told him if he wants to let them use the bathroom, then he better tell them they need to clean them after themselves or hold it until the end of their shift. He doesn't want to, so we are at a standstill. Tell me, am I the asshole?
Okay, I'm confused about what type of venue we're talking about. This is not someone's home restroom, is it? Is this like an office situation? Because I don't bring cleaning crews in for my home bathroom.
That threw up a Poncery flag to me.
Well, now hang on a minute. Let me go back and find. Well, I see what you're saying. Let me go back and find how they worded it. It just says the cleaning ladies. I mean, people have cleaning people for their house.
Oh, so
I think she said cleaning crew.
No, it says I've been waiting for the cleaning ladies to leave so he could use the bathroom again. Oh, he said cleaning ladies. Right. Let me go up here and look. Okay, the cleaning team arrived.
Team.
But it says to use my bathroom. So you're right. It is a little unclear whether this is a home toilet or a...
Okay. Here's the deal. It would be unpleasant, but we've all had gatherings where there have been a child or maybe somebody who imbibed too much, and there's been a little bit of spray. But that's nothing than a pair of cleaning gloves and the disinfectant. I mean, that's part of home ownership. If you have pets or children, or it just kind of comes with the territory. But this now, let me back up. It was an awesome boss move to wait till the cleaning ladies left so he could foul it. That's truly, that's either a boss move or a spiteful, spite move. But like I said, she's being a ponce if I have to bring the team in again. No, you could get a paper towel, a spray, and wipe it real quick. Now, once again, if he peed in her sink or in her decorative pumpkin, I've heard of that happening before.
If he left an upper decker.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay to be upset about that, but if it's a garden variety, I mean, yeah.
I believe the irony here is, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to get me in some tremendous trouble. So I know this going in. Women are very particular about how men use the restroom. However, the irony being, to a person, everyone I know who has worked in retail and had to clean women's restrooms and men's restrooms will say women's restrooms are by far the worst when it comes to being unkempt.
See, if you're still watching, Say has told me that many times that women's restrooms are worse than men's.
Because they'll go in there and they'll hoover over the toilet.
They'll Herbert Hoover on that bad boy.
They will. And then they talk about us not being able to aim.
It's interesting though, because the what do you want to call it? The determination is that this person is the asshole. And most people are jumping on them and saying that, like, you should have rented them a porta potty. And then look at Savannah and it says reputable construction companies will bring a porta potty. Whose responsibility is it? That's what's making me wonder again. If it's their house, I would think it would be your responsibility to provide the porta potty. And it depends on the kind of work being done as well. Like if they're,
there's a new house being constructed about 3-4 lots down from me on a previously vacant lot, and they have a porte-olet installed. And I was walking the dogs after I'd consumed a lot of Gatorade and water, and I almost thought about it.
Well, when my house was being built, there was a portalet here.
Oh yeah, we need somebody to tell it who provides. Like I don't know.
I would imagine it's baked into the cost of the project.
I'm sure. To me, I'm having a hard time determining this one because I do think if the person left it as bad as what, and I also don't know if this is not that it matters. I can't tell if it's a male, female. But if it was left as bad as the person says it was, then the person that left the mess should have cleaned it up. You know what I mean? But everybody down here in the comments seems to be saying that this person's exaggerating. They're embellishing. That it probably wasn't as bad as what they say it was. That they have OCD and all this and that. So I don't know that we can take all that from that. I mean, I don't know if we can get.
Now, didn't have the fan on. The first one implies the guy went all Spectrum and laid the cable and like just totally fouled her nest. But not to be crap, but that's what a bathroom's. That's its function. I mean, it's not like you
put the funk in function.
Yeah, and as long as he was not okay. So let's say that he. Apologies to our listeners. Let's say he did do a Jackson Pollock. What could he possibly do that in somebody? What could he do about that in someone else's restroom? I mean, wouldn't it be more awkward if he was rooting through the vanity or the cabinet looking for cleaning products and invading their privacy more? But if it's an uncontrollable explosion, well, I mean, he's limited to what he can flush.
Well, but he's working. I assume he has a putty knife and some gloves or something. He can
tackle.
At least a flathead screwdriver.
Oh, Richard, you need to come work at a middle school.
Oh.
Not that I ever, but I've had to go in and clear the deck just because it was escaping into the hallway because somebody else couldn't do it.
I got some comments here. Celia has requested that Buttle be brought down.
I don't know where Buttle
from
is.
The shelf. She claims
the cat
Buttle
Buttle.
Because Buttle would be appropriate to include in any AITA actions here on this podcast.
You read the comments. I'll look for Buttle.
The Buttle paddle. Isn't that in Dr. Seuss?
The historian is with us. Welcome.
Christopher.
John says, now I know a woman that can stand up and aim and pee.
Sounds like the beginning to a Southern rock song. I don't want
I can stand up and aim and pee.
We got a hit, fellas.
Savannah says reputable construction companies would bring the porta potty, and she also says that, as I stated, the cost is baked into the price of the finished project. So Celia has some things to say about women's restrooms. Women's restrooms are gross. Thinks she should allow them to use the restroom, since I'm guessing if she wanted to use the toilet, she wouldn't want to go across the street. I would buy some Clorox wipes and politely tell the guys, would you please make sure to wipe down the seat after you go? I would really appreciate it, just like I appreciate the work that you're doing for me. That's very, very diplomatic.
Yeah, who's she kidding?
Now, would she say the same thing to you, Todd?
No. She's fetching me a Buttle the cat. The one that was behind me is gone. I don't know where it went.
Hello, Mom. I hope you're feeling better.
All right, are we ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right.
Richard says nothing more gross is number 2 than left in the toilet when you go to use it. So, yes. Agreed.
Thank you. All right. I do have.
Buttle the cat.
So what do we think on that one?
I go along with Brady in that it's poncery, but left with the choices we have, she is the Anuse.
Okay,
she's definitely the Anuse.
There we go. One buttle up.
Can I say something about Buttle real fast?
Yeah.
Guys, after our live show that year, our 100th episode, and I had 3 or 4 Buttle fans in my house, I was petrified that one of those was going to end up in Randlin's book bag. She just thought they were hysterical, and I thought her teacher was going to end up with a Buttle the Cat fan.
Oh, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
Twinkle Tush, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. All right. Am I the asshole for only getting fries?
Hold on. Gary's in the house.
Gary.
Flush with pride, fan with flair, leave no sign that you were there. That is the rule of the public restroom.
That's right. All right. Are we ready?
Yep.
Am I the asshole for only getting fries? Okay. So my 20.
We didn't let the audience vote. The audience didn't vote.
Oh, well, I didn't know.
They can go ahead and vote while you read this one.
Okay.
Okay. Right. First, AITH, Anuse or not Anuse audience.
Right. Next up. Okay. So my 23 female girlfriend. So my 23 female. I'm confused. Offered to buy me dinner and said it was my choice. Asked that we just do fast food as they didn't want to eat in. I said Arby's or KFC. She said Arby's. But when we got there, the line was really long, so we went to KFC next door instead. When we pull up to the window, she sees the price and starts saying it's way too expensive. They don't want to pay $30, but that I can still get something. This made me feel really bad, and I decided not to get anything because of the price. I was annoyed and asked what she wanted then. She said McDonald's. I take us to McDonald's, and she gets herself $18 worth of food, and I only get a fry because she was just complaining about the cost of KFC. Now, I'm pretty upset because it apparently wasn't actually too expensive. She just didn't want KFC. I try to just stay silent in the car while we wait for our food, but she can tell I'm mad and asks me why I only got a fry. I explained pretty frustratingly that if I had gotten a meal, the total would have been more than KFC, and she made it clear that was too much. She tells me that I could have just gotten KFC, and I'm just making a big deal out of this and twisting her words. I'm honestly at a loss. She's mad at me for being mad about this and saying I created the problem by not just getting KFC. Am I the asshole?
This is why whenever the question comes up, where do you want to eat? No one will ever answer it.
Yeah.
I think she's gaslighting him.
I think so too. I don't know if I could call her an Anuse, although I'm leaning that way because one has to be. But I certainly don't think the guy's an Anuse.
I don't know which one's a guy, which one's not, just from the beginning there.
Yeah.
You guys are too old to use the word gaslighting. That word wasn't even used until about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now everybody uses it.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of it, but to our Gen Z audience out there, like she was making him feel like he was wrong or nuts. Now, I will say a large McDonald's fry can about fill me up. There's a lot of salt in there. That fills me up.
Well, but you don't think there's something to be said like if I tell you that I'm going to buy you lunch and then we pull up there and I'm like, oh gosh, this is so expensive. This is ridiculous. You don't think you're going to be a little less likely, a little gun shy?
Oh yeah, I will. Yeah, absolutely.
So which one are you guys saying?
Small fry.
Which one are you guys saying is the asshole? I'm confused.
I'm leaning toward hers. Yeah.
Again, I don't know which one's a she, which one's a he. They both might be she's, to be honest with you.
Or in the words of the historian, she's a McAnuse.
A McButtle.
So are you guys purposely playing defense or what? Because you haven't answered me. I don't know which one you think is the asshole.
Yeah, the one
you said she, but I think they're both she's.
The gaslighter.
The gaslighter. The one
the gaslighter,
is
the gaslighty. So the one who ordered only fries is the asshole.
No, the other one.
No,
the other one. Okay. Well, but the one asking if they're the asshole is the one that just ordered fries.
Yeah, that's
no,
not
that's
okay.
No.
Okay.
No, the other person.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you want to know what the vote was for the
Sure.
you know how it gives you everyone sucks.
There's got to be a lot of like if he was just calm, was like, I think I'll just have a fries, or if he's like, I just going to get some fries, but can I have some more?
We have 2 edits. One of them, it says, to clarify, $30 was well within her budget. She just didn't want to spend it at KFC, would rather spend it at McDonald's. Second edit, I know this is stupid, and normally we're able to work through things, but it's so stupid neither of us seem to relent. She thinks I'm ridiculous for being upset at all. I think it's ridiculous to offer me a meal wherever I want and then complain about it and expect me to just take the money anyway.
See, I go along with that.
Either way, she's done this before, and I'm done with it. I'm not going to let her offer to pay anymore. It always ends up being something I really dislike, even though I make sure my choices allow for her.
There we go. That's what she's after. She's going to make his life so hard that she just doesn't have to pay anymore.
Yeah.
And here's the I can hear this call. This is going to make some people upset. So sorry. Oh, you want Chipotle or can't? I was really Oh, Panera's right there. There's Panera.
It's Pantera, right? That's what you got to call it. But I got to sneeze. Hang on.
Bless you.
Boo-hum. Yeah, I don't know. They're both 23. That's a little too old. It just seems petty all the way around.
Yeah, 23-year-olds are petty.
But again, I have clarified. I think they're both females, which is why you guys were confused me when you were saying she.
So did one say the other one was her girlfriend?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Well, first off, it's not typed very well, but it's because it says, okay, so my 23 female girlfriend, 23 female offered to buy me dinner.
So is it a friend girl or a girlfriend?
I don't know. It's spelled girlfriend.
Todd doesn't say boy. He says Inga.
He does Inga in Orly.
Yeah, this is one of those everyone sucks. So we have, what was the final vote for the first one?
I only had 2 votes.
But it was trending.
Yeah, but it was
trending asshole.
Yeah, that trending that way. For this one, Savannah said Fry Guy, not the a-hole, but it must be Fry Girl. And
Fry Girls.
Fry Girl.
Says she's a McCain use. I'm guessing this would be not the Fry Girl, the other girl. It's the only 2 votes I have.
Well,
Celia did give
yeah,
her rationalization here.
But I will say this: there were no monetary limits placed. There was just complaining about the cost of the food at KFC.
Well, it's an implicit monetary limit. It's not a strict monetary. Ooh, that's
too gosh. Much. Is a 3-piece really now $11? It was.
Well, here's what gets me. They were going to Arby's first, and that's definitely the most expensive out of all 3 of those options.
Well, I think the gaslighter is the Ann use merely because she wanted to spend more money at McDonald's than KFC. I mean, that's a crime in and of itself.
Yeah.
All right. I got so many to choose from here. So many good titles. Let's go with this one though. Am I the asshole for letting my girlfriend for not letting my girlfriend fart in front of me.
Yes. I don't even need to hear the story. Yes. Yes, you are.
Hang on,
Let
don't
the man
judge.
speak.
My girlfriend, 20, female, and I, 19, female. At least this one was clear up front. Have been dating for 8 months. Early on, I made a joke about being too grossed out by farts and pooping, and I told her to never do it in front of me or even joke about it.
What?
As time went on, she didn't, and it was never an issue. Tonight, the conversation came up, and I told her, although I know it's a human function, it makes me feel dirty and uncomfortable. She told me holding them in hurts.
It stings.
And she that smarts. It smarts to not farts. And she
pain shoots when she toots.
And she read farting in front of your significant other as a sign of a healthy relationship. Yes. Although I'm sure that works for others, I feel that all relationships are different, and it is something I struggle with. It should be something to compromise about, not just let it rip. I suggested if she has to, she goes to the bathroom and then comes back. For context, I tend to be hyper aware about cleanliness, shower multiple times a day, no outside clothes on the bed, anti-chewing nails, etc., etc. Recently, it's been getting more severe, and normal things are becoming more and more bothersome for me. My brain won't stop the nagging about the air, my bed, my car, whatever it is being contaminated. I'm not sure how to make it stop. We both know it's most likely a problem I should look into, but I haven't yet. We're very comfortable around each other, and we'll let pretty much anything slide when we're together. I just personally need the boundary. Am I the asshole for expecting my girlfriend to hold / not talk about it in front of me for the time being?
Yes. Absolutely.
You have to put any thought into it.
I mean, I don't know what to say other than, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Yes, you are the man use.
It's very clear, and I won't diagnose online because I know it's not healthy to do, but it's very clear that there's some personal issues going on with her, which she pretty much says, like, you know, she's bothered by all these things, and
she has some intestinal distress, digestive issues.
No, the OCD, the one saying that, like, she has the thing with cleanliness.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
so. Okay, but let's say I try to play devil's advocate in these. Let's say that you are newly dating someone and you have this hang up, and for 8 months or whatever, it hasn't been a problem, and all of a sudden they just start blasting away. I mean, like, you know, like, do you think you should ease into it a little bit? Like,
ease into it.
Like,
put a toe in the pool.
So, I mean, does the OCD person, she passes gas? Yeah, it's a human function.
Well, yeah, I think she just doesn't do it in front of the other one. I got to be honest with you, and I hope this doesn't come off as sexist or anything at all, but this conversation being between two girls is a little different than I was expecting. Yeah, I mean, honestly, what you think? I mean, right off the bat, you just think a guy.
Oh, wait a minute. Girls don't do that, do they?
Gary, well, she held it for 8 months. Can hardly blame her. That's true. She's lucky she didn't blow the roof off.
So the historian, if I was the girl that was banned from farting, I would make sure I conducted commerce in the utmost fashion while she was in one of the said multiple showers during the day.
Jerk back the shower curtain and report.
Yes, Savannah, women can do things just as well, right? She can ride Winnie, man.
They're just as strong. I mean, all right. So what are we saying here? Are we all saying she's the asshole?
Absolutely.
I would almost say that this is going to be a new designation. I think I just created something. She's a hemorrhoid. She's an unhealthy anuse because there's something wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I mean. There's something. She seems to know it. Like she's saying that, like, I should get this checked out type thing. All right. Along that same topic, am I the asshole for arguing with my girlfriend for farting right in front of my face while we were watching a movie?
Details.
So right, but like she stuck her butt in his face.
I don't know. I will see if we can get some proximity here. So me and my girlfriend recently had our second trip together abroad. This time to Thailand. We had a ton of fun and did everything and got more comfortable with each other. Too comfortable. So one day we got high and watched the menu. I was laying in bed and she was sitting on it right in front of me. Both of us really invested in it. And suddenly she let out a fart so loud, I genuinely confused it for thunder. At first, I laughed because I love her. And I thought it was cute that such a small lady got such big booms. But then the smell hit me. Laughing turned to panic and running away to the balcony before I suffocated. So anyway, after I came back, I told her it's not too cool to fart in my face, but she was just like, it's you who farted. She wasn't kidding. Either she literally tried to gaslight me into thinking I farted.
Jedi mind trick.
She wasn't kidding either. She literally tried to, gaslight me into thinking I farted. It was generally a full argument. This wouldn't be a big deal otherwise, but she refuses to acknowledge her crimes when it happened directly in my face. Am I overreacting? Am I the asshole? So the headline, it's not just a matter of she dealt it, he smelt it, and then life moved on. She blamed him for it. She accused him of dusting his own crops.
That's some wizardry right there.
A typhoon, if you will. Slow burn.
Yeah.
I think she's the asshole.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if she stood up and things are unavoidable, the proximity, it might have been total accidental. But doing the old, like I said, these aren't the droids you're looking for. That's not cool, especially if she was serious.
Well, yeah, she wasn't the asshole until she tried to make him think he did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no sense in that.
No. Grow up.
Exactly. Great. Take responsibility. All right, so I need to go off on a little side road here. I was looking at my Facebook Reels the other day, and you guys may have heard this before, but there was a rather lengthy second date update on this radio station and went through the whole story. This guy called in and said he had gone out on this date with this lady, and they went into the restaurant for the date. As she's sitting down, she breaks wind very loudly, like the whole restaurant. She broke the wind.
Next to me.
I feel a breeze in my face. So the whole restaurant turned around and she excused herself and she did not return and she ghosted the guy. He tried to, and he wasn't offended by it. He chuckled as one would, because that's what you do when someone does that.
If you're an American.
Right, if you're a good American. So yeah, she checked herself out to the restroom and did not return and would not return his calls and ghosted him. So he calls the second date update on the radio station, says, "Hey, will you guys call her so I can talk to her and ask her out, because she won't answer me." So they called her and they went down through, so-and-so, the guy's name. I can't remember what his name was. Let's say he's Ted. Ted wants to talk to you, and you all went out on a date, and she's like, "Oh my," and she hung up. So they called her back, And she's like, I really don't want, I can't believe this. And I can't. So to make a very long story short, they ended up going out again after he convinced her that it was not a big deal. And he thought, it was okay. He was not offended by it. And he even said, in order for me to get you to go out with me, if I need to convince you that I'm not offended by this, I'm going to fart right now on the air. And he did. and she started laughing. Yeah, that is love. And she started laughing, and everything was great. And they went out again, and the radio station paid for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks to his TED Talk.
Right. Toothless TED Talk.
All right. I don't know what the odds were that 3 Am I the Assholes in a row would be flatulent related, but here's the last of the flatulence.
Well, the odds are you definitely would find them.
Well, yeah. I didn't search for that in particular. I literally just go to the most recent whenever I do this. All right. Am I the asshole? He's 36-year-old male. Girlfriend, 34-year-old female. Blew up our bedroom with sticky farts, and I lost it.
It's the women.
Damn women. The title says it all. My girlfriend has been having these terrible bouts of putrid farts. The smell is extremely strong, and it can linger for hours. She has been dealing with this for a few weeks, and she's going to see the doctor about it soon. Each time she has these spells, she lays in the bed and blows up the room. It's so stinky and strong, you could smell them in the hallway before you get into our room.
No.
They are so bad, I get physically ill when I smell them. Last night, I tried to go to bed early, and when I went to lay down, I was hit with a putrid wall of farts. It filled the entire room. I tried to play it off and told her she smells like rotten hog mugs. What the hell is a hog mug?
Rotten what?
What the hell is a hog mog?
A hog mog.
Yeah.
HOGMOG?
HOGMOG. Hog mog.
Hog mog.
Hog mog.
I'll look it up while you're reading.
They can't be from the United States.
Hog maw refers to the stomach of a pig prepared as food.
That's probably it then. Just called it a hog mog. I like hog mog. What I think is funny about that, I tried to play it off, and I told her she smells like rotten hog. I guess that's playing it off.
Here, it's a Pennsylvania Dutch dish consisting of cleaned pig stomach stuffed with various ingredients like potatoes, pork sausage, cabbage, and onions.
Oh.
It's kind of like haggis almost.
Yeah, haggis. All right. She laughed, but that just made me angry. I was already trying to cope with a joke, but I didn't think it would trigger me like that. To my defense, there have been nights where I could not go to sleep because the smell was so bad. Last night was the last straw. I wasn't upset about the gas because she can't help it, but I was upset about the fact that she chose to lay there and blow up the room knowing I have to sleep in there too. She could have slept on the couch and it would have been fine. I cannot physically sleep on the couch without a lot of discomfort. She has slept on the couch before with no issues. I basically called her inconsiderate and nasty. I also said she smells like a turtle tank. Oh, okay. I gotta start that sentence over. I basically called her. You can see this person like getting madder as they're writing this. I basically called her inconsiderate and nasty. I also said she smelled like a turtle tank and told her she needs to take her funky ass to the couch so I can get some sleep. I also said how I basically come home from work, clean, cook, and I'm exhausted at the end of the day. All I wanted to do was sleep, but I had to deal with this funky ass smell. I told her she's not the only one that has to sleep in here. I tried to lay down, but she just kept farting. At this point, the sheets and blankets smelled like straight up death. I got up and went into the front room to try to sleep. I couldn't sleep because I could smell it from the living room. Now I have to go home and wash the damn sheets because she won't do it. Am I the asshole? Should I apologize for saying those mean things to her? I feel bad, but then again, my feelings are valid. She was dead wrong for blowing up the bedroom like that.
I'm not going to discount that this is an amusing story, but I don't think it's real. I mean, there toward the end, I'm thinking it might be kind of like the sugar-free gummy bear writings.
The historian, he needs to fight back with eating a late-night snack of a fresh trout dinner in bed right as she starts to get comfortable.
Celia, it was a turtle tank. A turtle tank.
If anybody's ever smelt a turtle tank, it'll about knock you down, man.
Richard, she probably eats some White Castle.
So, if he said he went out to the front room to sleep and he could smell it out there, what good would it have done for her to go out there? Why does
valid point?
Why doesn't he light a candle? Wouldn't a candle do something?
Well,
to
it
the
might
smell?
cause an aurora putrialis.
Celia says she thinks it's rude to not go to the couch if you're making it that bad in the room.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I can remember times pre-gallbladder coming out that I would I would sound like a foghorn burping, like, wah, like Booger in Revenge of the Nerds. And if I was having one of those attacks, I wouldn't say I am leaving because of this, but I would go for a little walk, maybe take the dog out, and then, wouldn't be because I'm sure it was foul. But I don't know. Like I said, there's just some parts of this story I don't know if I buy.
Well, it sounds like there could be something wrong here. If it just came on all of a sudden like this, and it's...
Yeah. I mean, if her body's not processing sulfur from her food...
She needs a colonoscopy.
Oh. Or at least a colonic. She's going to have to poop in a box.
A high colonic.
All right. So what do we think? Asshole? Is he the asshole?
I don't think so.
No.
If it's truly that foul.
Foul.
Putrid.
All right.
I think
let's switch it up.
Almost.
This is a short one. And I thought this one might hit home close. It's about guys. Am I the asshole for not closing the stall door when peeing? I went to the restroom at work earlier, and both urinals were marked out of order, so I had to go in one of the stalls. I didn't think anything of it and just went in to pee. Someone else came into the restroom and yelled that I should close the damn door next time as they walked to the next stall. Standing in a stall, even with the door open, gives more privacy than the tiny dividers between the actual urinals. I guess I can see where there's a door it should be used, but it's not like I was pulling my pants down. So am I the asshole for not closing the stall door? No, you're not. And the other guy's an asshole for calling you out. I don't close the stall door.
No. There's no door between the urinals.
No. And if you close the stall door, somebody might think you're doing something else in there. I don't want them to have to judge by which direction my feet are aimed, whether I'm standing or sitting.
Well, I mean, plus, isn't it more courteous to leave the door open so someone doesn't have to look under there to see if someone's in there? I mean,
right.
And someone's just going to be quick. I mean, if you're waiting for a stall.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that. I mean, I guess if you were using a bathroom, if you were using a bathroom that anyone could use, but if it's just like the men's room, I've
like
never
a unisex bathroom.
Right, a unisex bathroom. But
FYI, if it's a unisex bathroom, I'm not leaving the door open because of other, possible HR issues.
Well, yeah. So say no comment. I think I know why she's saying no comment there. Are you saying no comment for the reason I think you're saying no comment?
Yes, yeah.
Dropping Drago's ankles. Hey, I walked in a bathroom one time. I think it was the Reds game, maybe, and a Reds game, and there was a grown man standing there with his everything around his ankles, just standing at the urinal. Oh, I thought you were saying that because you always leave the door open.
Oh no.
Yeah, do you leave the door open when you're peeing, Celia?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure not in a public restroom.
So
that was a short one. That's not even up for debate. He did nothing wrong.
So the historian says he's not at all unless he's dropping trowel to his ankles. And at that point, there's more to consider than not closing the door. Sometimes things happen. I mean, have you guys ever had your pants drop when you didn't think they were going to drop? Because I don't have enough butt to hold them up.
Well, I guess
Especially if you got stuff in your pockets.
Yeah.
Especially your wallet that weighs like 10 pounds. It'll take the trowel right off of you.
Get out of here.
I'm not saying it's still like that.
It is what it sounds like. when Eric's pants fall. All right. Yeah, I just thought that one was just too easy. That's not even a question. I've never heard of asking. I couldn't imagine asking anyone that. I couldn't imagine saying that.
I mean, once again, I mean, how loud, how close of quarters where the water sound would be that odious and offensive.
The title of this next one. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she was overreacting? That's a
given.
I don't know. Do we do any more? What you tell me, Time Master?
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
One afternoon, I took my kids bike riding, and when we came home, I asked my wife to open the garage door so I could put the bikes back. I walked them to the back and put them in our garage, and then returned to the front door of the house. Kids wanted a snack, so I helped prepare it. About 5 minutes later, I think to check the garage door and see it is still opened. We live in an area where people tend to get things stolen if they leave their garages open. I looked into the garage and I don't see my wife. She does tend to like to do yard work, so it can be common that she would be outside doing something. I asked the kids if they know where their mom is. They say they think she's upstairs, so I closed the garage door. Not a minute later, she's calling my phone. She was still outside. She sounds angry. She's ripping off blames left and right to the phone about how she told the kids specifically to tell me not to close the door. I end up having to interrupt her because she's sort of going on a tirade. I just want to know if she needs me to reopen the garage door or not. She says she doesn't, as she can actually open it on her phone. She gets back inside and questions/criticizes the kids. Note, our kids are all 10 or younger. She even inserts some blame about how they are always thinking about wanting to play video games and not listening. After the kids leave the room, I speak and I tell her she shouldn't say that the kids are at the table snacking and video games weren't part of the equation, that she's overreacting about this. Yes, maybe the kids didn't hear her correctly. Perhaps it was a miscommunication and they misunderstood. In the end, we were all inside and she was not actually locked out. She stewed for the rest of the entire day and then part of the next. So the next night, I asked her what was wrong and she brought up the garage incident. She said she was more mad that I accused her of overreacting than the incident itself. Yet she still found additional ways to blame me or make me feel bad, such as why couldn't I have called her before closing the door? Or could I not have noticed that her shoes weren't there and figured out she was outside? Are you kidding me?
Got to turn into Sherlock Holmes just to walk around her home.
I agree that I could have, but I didn't. Yes, we made a mistake and closed the garage door on her. She acts like she had to fight this garage door with her life, like it was falling down on her. I just didn't agree that it was such a big deal, and I specifically did not agree with her making a big fuss on the kids about it. Am I the asshole for telling her she's overreacting? Should I have just taken the L on this one and let her tirade on us all for being bad listeners and bad communicators? Yeah.
I want you to do me a favor. I'm going to send you my email. You're going to log on, and I'm going to have you give this lady my email. And I'm going to have her tell me that she's gonna open up a video chat with me, and she is going to get a blistering rebuke. Her face is going to peel back. I'm a chill guy, but this angers me. This is like, what? It goes from a simple miscommunication. Okay, was she chased by wolves? Were rabid bandicoots biting her calves? What could have possibly... If I knew more, if there was something bad that was going to happen to her, was there a tornado closing in? I doubt it. It just sounds like she wanted to be mean. She was mean to the kids. She was mean to him. That makes her mean.
Go ahead, Eric.
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Oh, you can't.
She's from Uranus.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think I need to say anymore, because the perspectives of this situation, I mean, it is perfectly laid out as to why one gender thinks this and one gender thinks that. It's played out in life all the time.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just not so sure this. I think this could be. I think this is genderless. I think this is just a matter of one person is thinking that you're supposed to constantly know exactly where they are, what they're doing. You should have noticed my shoes weren't there. I mean, come on now.
Okay, he was supposed to put his feet, his face down to the carpet on the floor near the... I sense her in the west.
I mean, it's not like he's going back to her and saying, "Hey, you should have dropped some breadcrumbs so we knew where you are and so you could get back to the garage." I mean, like he's being logical here. That's my problem with that. I agree with what you're saying, Eric. I just don't know that it pertains to this, because this isn't a matter of just two people with two different.
Am I overreacting?
I'm really trying to tiptoe up to the line without going over, and you just blasted. No, he's just being logical, which insinuates that she is not.
Right. But I think if had the roles been reversed, I would say the same thing. But here, you want to know what angers me about this more than anything, and you guys can't see it, but it's the first several comments. This is why we can't have any fun anymore. This should just be looked at as a black and white. Is he an asshole? Yes or no? Is she an asshole? Yes or no? But instantly people start saying, like, hey, buddy, I think you're missing that there's some sort of OCD issue. There's some sort of issue. She has some sort. You should be more sensitive to that and stuff like that. It's like, it's not fun reading this if you have to think that everybody involved might have. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not being
every single person we've talked about has had a disorder allegedly.
Right. That's what I mean. And like this, and this person says, something tells me this is not about the garage door. You're overlooking other things that are bothering her. Maybe they seem small to you, but I absolutely guarantee they're not small to her. So again, this subreddit becomes useless if every single person we read about, we have to dig and try to create our own soap opera around. You know what I mean? Like, it's not being insensitive to think she's just being an ass. You know what I mean? Or he's being an ass. Either one. I mean, we don't have to say, well, what could he have wrong with him? Or what could she have wrong with her?
All right. So I said I was going to tiptoe up the line and stop. Now I just can't stop anymore. Is this AITA or is this AITBM? Am I the beta male? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are no women chiming in? Come on, girls. We need you to chime in here.
I mean, come on, Celia. You can recognize that this is just being totally out of line.
I mean,
this is the equivalent. Have either one of you ever either had it happen to you, or you where like you're in the shower and they turn the light off on you, or you do that to them? That's what this is. It's like, I'm sorry, I forgot you were there. It's not. That's what they've turned this into something much bigger. You know what I mean? This is as simple as I closed the garage door. because that's what I do. It's habit. He already said things get stolen in this neighborhood, so it's a safety thing.
All right, Celia left the room. She doesn't know the story.
Oh crap!
So what about you, Savannah? What do you think? You're the other female in the room. Well, what do you think about all this? She's.
Here's my problem. Here's what's bothering me. If it was about him, she would have went after him. It's not what she did. She went after her own brood first, then went after him
because he
defended his brood.
Yeah.
But there is no pleasing this person. That's what I think.
There was going to be a pound of flesh.
Yes.
It was going to be extracted from one or extracted from the other.
Yes.
And I mean, in my opinion, he should come back and say, "Well, why didn't you tell us you were going outside? Don't you know you have to check in with the house when you go out, when you exit this house, you need to check in. In fact, write it down, like leave me a note."
And then every 25 seconds, you're going to go into the window and go, "Ah!" and give me a.
Yeah.
So
a note. Go ahead.
Is there a garage door in existence today that does not have the little keypad that you can open the door up with?
I don't have one, but mine's it's a relatively inexpensive garage door. Never.
But the worst case scenario, this woman has to walk around to the front or the back door and knock on the door or walk in. It depends on if it's locked. This is the equivalent of making a mountain out of a molehill.
So Gary says, didn't she ask the kids to tell him? Well, yeah. But, to me, in the scale of 1 to 10, as far as getting bent out of shape, that's about a 2. Right?
Yeah. And I'm going to be fair. I'm getting my dander up a little bit, but I'm reacting to the facts as they are presented in the story. If there's much more to it, hey, I will say I was wrong.
Well,
but just judging this, man.
But as
just
the great
whatever seeing.
But as the great 1991 Extreme album says, there are 3 sides to every story.
Yeah.
Right. She did. I think she did. It did. I guess I can just look.
Now, wait a minute. Gary, is that right? He said she opened it with her phone after she called her husband.
Okay.
Is that true? That
makes
makes it even worse.
That does.
I asked the kids if they know where their mom is. They say they think she's upstairs. So I closed the garage door. Not a minute later, she's calling my phone. She was still outside. She was ripping off blames left and right on the phone about how she told the kids specifically to tell me not to close the door. Okay. So she tells the kids to tell her husband to not close the door.
Okay. But
so I guess I'm
with her phone, right?
No, but I'm confused on why she even asked him to leave the door open if she can just open with her phone. She obviously had her phone on her because she calls him.
True. I mean, if she had 2 broken legs and a broken spine and was carrying like 50 pounds of mulch, but I don't think that's happening.
No. And these kids are under 10. So does she really trust
depend on them?
Right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look, a puppy or something.
And they're eating. They're snacking. I don't know. Now, let's see what Reddit says. Reddit says everyone sucks. Why?
Yeah. Boo Reddit.
Boo Reddit.
AITBM. That's why Reddit says everyone sucks. There are no AMs on Reddit. There are only BMs.
I don't know. Like I said, this one just like, because I guess I as you were reading it, I could hear and see, and it just didn't flesh right. It just.
And this person says, if your wife was able to open the garage door, I don't understand why this is even a problem.
Yeah.
So did it say in the story she could open it with her phone?
Yeah, she tells him that. Like they're on like during the. It says, hang on a minute. I'll read it to you verbatim. So she's going off on him. I end up having to interrupt her because she's sort of going on a tirade. I just want to know if she needs me to reopen the garage door or not. She says that she doesn't because she can actually open it on her phone. So this whole thing, she's laying into him, and then he's like, look, I just need to know, do you need me to open the door or not? And she's like, no, I don't need you to open the door. I can open it myself.
I would not want, if I was her, I would not want him to close the door because, or I mean, I would want to do it myself on my phone because that's fun and cool.
Mama Liming. Outstanding.
Nice.
Probably does. Yeah, that makes it worse.
Now, let me read this comment. We're going to get canceled. We're not going to have any female fans. Hey, we are equal opportunists. We've picked on our own quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
It says sounds like this. This is why Reddit isn't fun. It sounds like she feels left out. Then she felt locked out, and she got scared. Fear in women sometimes comes out in these irrational outbursts. Being told you are irrational while being irrational always explodes. Being irrational is fear-based. Ask her about her fears and insecurities and get it out.
Let me wash down the vomit taste from my mouth with this Dr. Pepper.
Okay, let me ask a question. If the tables were turned here, and he started going off on her about it, how do you think that would be received?
Oh, you know how it would be received.
I do know how it would be received. Double standards.
Yeah. I don't think that. Okay. Let's just say for a second she was afraid of what? That she could open the door. I'm assuming she could get into the house through another door. If she was that scared to be outside with the garage door closed, I can't imagine she would have been out there. It said she liked to do yard work and stuff, so she must frequent the lawn. I don't know.
I can't tell if Gary's being sarcastic here.
That's how good Gary is.
This is on him. He had to know she could open the door with her phone before he, being a passive-aggressive jerk, asked her if he should open it.
I don't know.
When that offender,
I don't know what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And he says, if Jenny closes the garage door on me, I'm going golfing. Yeah.
Now, never tell another person that this person says, never tell another person they're overreacting. It is so rude and condescending. Now, there's something to be said about telling somebody to calm down never calms them down.
True.
You know.
So what's the proper question to ask there? Why are you so upset? Is that the proper question?
What seems to be the problem? What is troubling you? Why are you nonplussed?
Nonplussed.
You said that last week. I was like, what? Nonplussed, unhappy. Oh.
And you know what? I think there's something to be said about her approach to this. Has she just said like, gee guys, thanks a lot. You know, kind of like I do when the lights turn on me. I'm in here. I mean, like if she just would have given it one of those, but to then throw up the whole like, you didn't notice my shoes weren't there. Like, you know what I mean? Like
you didn't notice the carpet fibers going east to west instead of north to south with the way that the traffic flows. You didn't run a DNA scan.
Yeah, what he should have said was, you didn't hear the garage door closing and make a run for it when you heard it. Dove in.
Could have stuck your foot under there and stopped it.
Did a Han Solo roll through the closing door, like on the Death Star?
All right. I think we've done enough damage.
So Savannah has a comment here. Being able to open the door with her phone, she shouldn't be upset. If I'd have my phone taken away because it'd be opening and closing the door repeatedly.
Yes, Savannah.
Yeah. There you go. I think the women of the audience have chimed in on this.
Can I tell you something that he laughed about it? But okay, so when I put in new light fixtures into the bathroom, or the new light fixtures, I put it had a Bluetooth speaker built into it, and then you could link your phone. Well, when you turn the light on, it also engages the speaker, and then if you're linked to it, it will immediately begin playing. And I put war sounds. I cranked it up, and Ridge turned the light like.
You're diving in the bathtub.
Fire
no!
Yeah, fire no. But what you get, what you give, because there was one time, I'm waking up at 4:30 a.m., 4:45 a.m. and I go in the bathroom looking like Tom when he's got his nightcap on and a candle, and I flipped the switch, and he had fallen asleep. He'd turned it off, but it was hooked to the Bluetooth, and it was some video game where he would start going beep, 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 and I'm like, yeah, it scared the crap out of me, so I got it. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. All right.
That's all I got.
That's all we need.
Okay.
Brady?
See?
Once again, before you go, like and follow us. You can like us and follow us on Facebook, X, Instagrams, YouTube's, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Twitch, Rumble,
Twitch,
iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app. Brady?
All right. I did some digging and rooting, and I was just kind of wanting something a little bit different and fun. And it was something you might not know about me. Instead of being a teacher, I almost went into marketing and advertising because it's always fascinated me. So this is something from that tree. And this comes from a topic. I'll just read it. Cultural blunders, brands gone wrong. And this is United States or international based brands that what they did in their home country didn't necessarily play well in their international marketing scheme. Now, some are just unfortunate and some of them are hilarious. So, are you ready for this?
Yep.
Try to learn something here too. So, the first one will start with good old Coca-Cola. When Coca-Cola entered the Chinese market, they named their product something that, when pronounced, sounded like Coca-Cola. The only problem with that is the characters that would sound out Coca-Cola in Chinese meant bite the wax tadpole. When they learned of their blunder, they later changed to a set of characters that mean happiness in the mouth.
That's even worse.
I know.
What was the first? Ride the wax tadpole?
Bite the wax tadpole.
That sounds like some sort of like 60s drug reference, like Ride the Dragon, like biting the wax tadpole.
Hey man, are we gonna bite the wax tadpole and listen to some Doors, man?
Is that Freedom Rock, man?
We'll turn it up, dude. Man.
Turn it
up, man. Okay, the side note to this, Coca-Cola claims that this famous blunder was made not by the company itself, but retailers in China. So the next time you're drinking that Coca-Cola, just think of biting the wax tadpole.
Biting the wax tadpole.
Okay, this next one. When Vicks first introduced its cough drops in the German market, they were chagrined to learn that the German pronunciation of V is F, which in Germany is the guttural equivalent of sexual activity. The F word.
Really?
Yeah.
So that they actually release them with that?
I read all I have. So that might take some going down the rabbit hole a little bit.
That was Germany, right?
Yes. And it's always in Germany. Because while you're looking that up, let's talk about puffs. The beloved tissue. When Puff's Tissues tried to introduce its product, they were quick to learn that puff in Germany is a colloquial term for a meeting house of ladies of the night. The CMO behind that brand must have been sleeping.
A brothel, if you will.
A brothel?
Yes.
I
Yes.
was trying to make a Dolly Parton joke there, but
I was leaving that.
Were you thinking that too? Yeah.
So, a house of ill repute, as it's sometimes called. But now that seems like a major and easily avoidable. That's an unforced error because, like, the Chinese thing with the alphabet or their lingo. Okay.
That's right.
The V word to use, sir. But like you don't know what you don't know about, even though in this day and age, like the Chinese characters and everything. But man, the most popular, the V bomb in German, that seems like that could be easily avoided.
This is completely so. Chris's comment got me thinking about past episodes, and I was thinking, have we had have we released or re-released a past classic episode of the black blood pudding? That would be a good one. That would be a good one. Release.
Black blood pudding.
Mamma lamb.
Was that the same?
That was still at Eric's house. That was still at Eric's house. And that was, I remember I had this book that I was reading out of, and it was like, I don't remember what it was, some sort of book of weird facts or gross facts or something like that. And it was talking about blood pudding. Was that the episode where Matt sat in with us?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was or not though, because I mean it was around that time. But we should re-release that one, the one Matt sat in too.
Oh man. All right. All right. Here comes the next one. What, Todd? You gotta send it.
Funny. It's just hilarious. It's just
okay. Panasonic. In the mid-1990s. What? Panasonic automatic rock the mic. Anyway, people everywhere were still discovering the joy of home computers. Japanese engineers at Panasonic were way ahead of the curve, and in 1996, they developed a touchscreen PC for the home market. They decided to market the product aggressively in the U.S. using a mascot called Woody. At the time, the American-created Woody Woodpecker cartoon was apparently huge in 1990s Japan. After securing the rights to use Mr. Woodpecker and conducting an amount of research so infinitesimal that marketers are still studying it today, Panasonic proudly dubbed their new touchscreen computer the Woody. Not knowing this is American slang, well, meaning you know what it means in American slang. But wait, I gotta be careful here. I didn't read this all the way through. It gets better. To truly set their touchscreen capabilities apart from the competition, Panasonic named the feature Touch Woody.
I knew that was coming.
Name is
so to speak.
So things went south from there. Panasonic had no clue that anything was wrong with the slogan until the day before the ads were set to launch, when the American staff member informed them that this slang connotations. As a result of this mistake, its highly innovative product was a failure, and the campaign was infamous to be studied by all in failure to do research.
Where did Panasonic PCs ever go?
I don't know.
Panasonic itself, is it? Did you already say it? Is it gone?
I cannot ever recall a Panasonic computer.
No.
They have excellent batteries.
Yeah.
High-end batteries. But
are they still around?
Yeah. I think you'll have to look that up, but I think
it's
mostly
TVs,
the batteries.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. I know they have batteries because one of the things that I have, it recommends Panasonic batteries as the best for that particular product, and it was not written in. This came from the service person. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Colgate introduced a toothpaste in France called CUE. That was also the name of an inappropriate, famous gentleman's magazine in France. So, they didn't do their research, and nobody wants to buy toothpaste with that connotation. So,
probably not. Apparently, it was not PC at all.
All right. So, would you like to hear what Panasonic sells these days?
Sure.
Yes.
So in the kitchen, microwave ovens in general, small kitchen appliances.
Custom kitchen delivery. We got to move these.
Personal care, men's shaving and grooming, women's shaving and grooming, oral care, professional clippers and trimmers, telephones. Bet that's a big market nowadays. Cordless telephones, small business phones, telephone handsets and batteries, baby monitors, massage chairs. It's kind of random stuff.
Yeah.
Blu-ray and DVD, home audio, headphones, Bluetooth party speakers, digital cameras, camcorders,
a kinetoscope,
smart TVs,
dumb TVs.
Yeah, so there you go.
All
right.
You
can buy from Panasonic nowadays.
This
no PCs, however.
I just stumbled upon something that could be a fun topic in the future. As I was looking at Panasonic's Wikipedia, and I don't know if a lot of corporations have this, but it has a slogan history. That would be kind of fun to do, to put together our own companies and go look up their former slogans.
Yes.
None of these ring a bell. I don't really remember any Panasonic, but I don't know. I just thought that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that Todd, that's brilliant, man. It's right up
in
my
1971
alley.
Through 2003, outside of Japan, the slogan was "Just slightly ahead of our time."
I remember that one.
Let's manage our expectations.
I was going to say, is that a good thing? Just slightly?
Born to be mild.
So the historian says that Black Blood Pudding was episode 84, the New Year's Traditions episode.
No, I think he means.
You know what? We have mentioned
I think he means the F word was.
Oh. Because like black blood pudding has come up a couple times.
Right, but the original would have been Eric's Room. We weren't already to episode 84 by Eric's Room.
Historian, I think you're referring to Yorkshire pudding, where they toss Yorkshire pudding on New Year's. I don't know why I remember that.
I know black blood. That's hard to say. I know black blood pudding was in the. We were all sitting at the plastic table there in one of Eric's upstairs bedrooms.
Yeah.
I had it. I had like a piece of that recorded at one time because I used to like to listen to it in slow, slow and speed it up and slow it down.
Bam, bam.
Wow. It's funny because you just hear like Brady say bram, blam, and all of a sudden you hear. That's all you hear like this.
We'll have to release that as bonus content. All right. When Pepsi, it all comes down to China, man. When Pepsi expanded their market into China, they launched with the slogan, Pepsi brings you back to life. What they didn't realize is that phrase is translated, Pepsi brings your ancestors back from the grave. This may seem like a pretty funny mistake, but to Pepsi, this was a huge mistake, especially when you're trying to build a brand on a global level.
So you had people in China dumping Pepsi on graves?
Yeah, it must have been,
So the historian points out that we all know the F-bomb episode was episode 134, and we all remember correctly at timestamp 51 minutes and 47 seconds. Just in case you'd forgotten.
Oh, man.
Vorbotten that you've forgotten.
Forgotten.
Vorbotten.
All right. And the next one is Schweppes. In Italy, a campaign for Schweppes tonic water translated the name into Schweppes toilet water in Italian.
Or as Pete Fiskus called it, Schnaups.
Schnaups. Now, Schweppes is not to be confused with Schnaups.
They stole some peach Schnaups. I love you, Dad.
Yeah. Schweppes is the, when a gin and tonic, Schweppes is a brand of the tonic.
I'm listening. I'm also trying to find that recording that I have here. Sorry.
Good deal. Okay, KFC stepped in China also. China. In Chinese, the Kentucky Fried Chicken slogan, finger licking good, came out as eat your fingers off. All right. This wasn't KFC's only blunder. In the mid-1980s, when the brand launched their first store in Hong Kong, they used chickens raised and fed in China. The Chinese feed their chickens fish, so the taste was not the same as America's KFC. The company closed their store and did not reopen again until 10 years later. So they had a chicken harish taste because of the feed they feed it. They feed it fish guts.
Ooh, that's gross.
That's pretty foul.
Ha!
All right. Can you
I don't know what we're even talking about. It's just funny.
Let's hear it.
Well, I haven't found it yet, but I found this.
I wouldn't think the ears, you can't eat a nose hole. You have to eat it in pieces.
Sound high.
Oh gosh, man. Oh, that's amazing. All right. This is a brand I've not heard of, but here we go. When Parker Pen marketed a ballpoint pen in Mexico, its ads were supposed to have read, "It won't leak in your pocket and embarrass you." Instead, the company thought the word embarazar, to impregnate, meant to embarrass. So the ad read, "It won't leak in your pocket and make you pregnant." This is this is a strong example of how companies should heavily research translation before launching their brands. It would have only taken minutes for a professional translator to verify that. Parker Pens released a pen named the Jotter, which is slang for jockstrap. Marketers should note this warning. Using internet translators for international ad campaigns is not suggested.
So a jotter is slang for a jockstrap?
C.
Jotter.
Jotter.
Huh.
Oh, man. It's going to be hard for me to get through this next one.
So if I were Barry Jeter, is that his name? I would have had the Jeter Jotter.
Jeter
yes.
I'd have marketed the Jeter Jotter.
That's amazing.
I should have been in marketing.
Yeah, you should have, man. Coors. In Spain, when the Coors Brewing Company translated its slogan, "Turn it loose," into Spanish, it read as "Suffer from diarrhea." Go pick up a 12-pack. That's once again, that's an unforced error.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right.
You got to wonder if there was some tomfoolery going on at time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
some purposeful
shenanigans.
Stuff.
Yeah. Somebody thought it was funny. Probably a bunch of dudes like guys because they're cackling like they're 12. Clairol, the hair product company. Clairol introduced the Mist Stick, a curling iron, into Germany, only to find out that Mist, M-I-S-T, is slang for manure. Not too many people had use for the manure stick.
Not to mention, if you say it really fast, it says mystic.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I thought. Yeah. So
Mystic pizza would be really foul.
I don't know. I think a manure stick could come in handy.
Oh,
If you're trying to swat away manure that's in your path.
Newer.
that's true.
Manure.
Manure.
Near.
And like I said, we've discussed this before. Is that term must only be applicable to animals, particularly cows, because it's not used anyplace else. Nobody says, "Man, I stepped in dog manure," or "Man, my kid had to manure so bad we had to pull over to a rest stop." Anyway,
Wonder why.
all right.
Somebody should look up the history of that. Why?
Yes.
Why is it only a farm animal? And well, actually, like you said, it's just cow. You don't say sheep manure or pig manure.
Yes.
All right, here we go. The AI overview. Manure is a term used for animal excrement, especially that of livestock, which is used as a natural fertilizer to enrich soil. It's a type of organic matter that improves soil health and provides nutrients for plant growth.
So
can human excrement not do that?
No, because like things grown in human manure gives you the hep or cholera.
The hip. I don't need your hip.
Hip. All right. The American slogan for Salem cigarettes were "Salem, feeling free." When it was translated into the Japanese market as "When smoking Salem, you will feel so refreshed that your mind seems to be free and empty," which almost sounds like an intoxicant of some kind. So naturally, they're going to be suspicious. Pepsi's at it again. Pepsi lost its dominant market share to Coke in Southeast Asia when Pepsi changed the color of its vending machines and coolers from deep regal blue to light ice blue, as light blue is associated with death and mourning in this region. Interesting. Now, that might be a little bit hard. You know, that one, I mean, you would pretty much have to get somebody very culturally entrenched from that country. You know what I mean? That one would be difficult, especially when your brand is blue.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that's what's confusing with me about a lot of these. It's like seems like people were involved that did not have control of their own language. I mean, they didn't have. I could understand if it were like someone that didn't speak the language naming it this stuff, but like it's like they didn't know the meanings of all their words.
Yeah, and they didn't attempt to try.
Right.
IKEA IKEA launched its 5th largest superstore in Bangkok. In many Scandinavians, names for the products have different meanings. Redelen, a town in Norway after which a bed sold by a Swedish furniture chain is named, sounds similar to a lewd act in Thailand.
Lewd.
Terms like jadabra, which is the name of a plant pot, sounds like a crude Thai term for relations. IKEA had hired locals to scrutinize the product names to see how they sounded in Thai before translating them into cursive script. In some cases, they changed a vowel or a consonant to prevent unfortunate misunderstandings. So it would be like it would be the equivalent of us saying they're full of shut, where they changed one letter, but you knew what they meant.
Right.
So that seems like
kind of like the Kmart. I shipped my pants.
Yeah.
I shipped my bed.
That was a great commercial. Managers at one American company were startled when they discovered that a brand name of the cooking oil they were marketing in Latin American country translated into Spanish as jackass oil. That's unfortunate.
Of course, I guess the Kmart thing was purposeful, and it was also brilliant because they put like the least like elderly people.
Yes.
I shipped my nightgown.
Okay. All right. Even companies as big and smart as Procter & Gamble can make brand blunders when cultural differences are not researched. P&G used a television commercial in Japan that was popular in Europe. The ad showed a woman bathing and her husband entering the bathroom and touching her on the shoulder sweetly. In Japan, the Japanese considered this ad as an invasion of privacy, inappropriate behavior, and very poor taste. So evidently, if they started out in the same room, it was okay. But if somebody comes in, that's one of those cultural things where it's considered intrusion.
Gotcha.
That'd be different. That'd be a tough one.
Yeah, you can't make it. I think you can't. The moral of all this is you can't please everybody. There's gonna be some country where you want to piss people off.
Yeah, and that was the last one, but it got me to thinking. I scratched this down, and I'm gonna try not to step in it and get canceled. But sometimes we got an education we didn't want and didn't know. When some of the products were sold, like as Eric and I and you too, Todd, us Gen Xers, that there was products sold on TV that we had no idea what they were.
Okay.
Like Massengale products.
You had an idea, but you didn't know exactly.
Yeah, you knew it was something that you couldn't relate to.
What one of the ones that always got me were the eggs, like the pantyhose eggs.
Yeah. Legs.
Yeah. I mean, do they still make those?
I don't know.
I mean, is that one of those things where kind of like the Geico? Like gecko sounds close enough to Geico, so they just make that the mascot to where like the legs and eggs rhyme. So they just decide, hey, let's sell our pantyhose in a plastic egg.
Somebody, oh my gosh, this just re-jogged a memory, man. Eric, I know we've talked about this, but there was a commercial, and it might have been Gold Bond, but it said for treating, and I quote, male itch.
Male itch.
What a ridiculous euphemism. because we all know what you're talking about, but I guess how do you get that product? This is what it's for without saying what it's for.
Now, looking this up, I have a problem with this. It
Uh-oh.
appears, and I haven't dug deep into this research, but it appears they still make legs.
Well, I'm on their website.
But they don't sell it in the eggs
Explain
anymore.
that his search history.
It's on your favorites, isn't it, Eric?
Yeah.
That came up quick.
Just clicked right on the star, and there it was.
No, but like it seems like they don't sell it in the egg shape, which defeats the whole purpose of having the. But then if you look at this, it's hard to see. You see the little where it shows the color. That's egg shaped on the box.
Kind of a throwback, like they're acknowledging their history while moving forward.
When did legs stop using the egg? Guess the year.
I am going to say 1995.
Todd?
I think they were around after that. I'm going to say closer to 2004. And I'm not looking at pictures.
Both are too recent.
19
and 91.
So those of you that don't know what we're talking about, that doesn't really look. Hang on a minute. Let me find something that looks a little bit. You can't tell what that. It just looks like a white. Like, hang on. I need something that doesn't.
But let's think about this though. When is the last?
Can you pull up a picture, Eric?
Yeah.
A picture of an egg.
A
leg egg.
Leg egg.
A egg.
I mean, it's brilliant though. Like I can't think of anything. Say I said I used to love my mom would give her pantyhose. Yeah, you could play with them. Put your change in there.
Yeah.
Hide your Hot Wheels.
I was going to say they were Star Wars figure portable prisons.
Oh yeah.
You would put them in the egg.
Put your snacks in there.
Portable prisons.
Yeah. If you're fighting stormtroopers and you got to put them somewhere, so you have to have an egg, I guess. Use your imagination, man.
I just don't know why they stopped. There was no reason to stop that.
And no, there you go. So I wonder if the cost of making the egg, like packaging, just became cheaper otherwise. Maybe they were considered environmentally unfriendly.
I don't know. See, I bet, because I bet people bought them. I bet women bought them just because. First off, I have to imagine there were other. I can't imagine there was a monopoly. I'm assuming there were other brand of pantyhose. So I'm guessing that they probably also sold extra because women bought them because they knew their kids loved playing with the capsule.
Yeah,
the pantyhose capsule.
All right, hold. I'm almost there here. I gotta.
Did we coin? I think the word pantyhose. I think that was referenced in one of our episodes when my dog ate one, because I had to distinguish it wasn't both legs, but it was only one.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
But yeah.
Here we go. I'm getting there. It's been a while since I shared a screen.
Been a while.
Speaking of the historian always gives me tidbits that we've discussed in the past, but
see it?
He should. It's not up there yet.
Maybe we can't see it.
But he found a picture on like eBay where the Greedo action figure, the original pressings in our Ute, is worth like over $1,500. And because that's the one I mentioned when I got into the poison ivy, and my mom felt so bad for me, she let me get I missed 2 days of school and was just polluted. She let me go to Vern's Variety, and I got Greedo. And that was the very one I got.
Well, so I can't get. There it is. There it is.
There we go. There it is.
See, I mean that's just what a versatile apparatus that was.
Okay, so do you remember the? Let me go to another thing here. Here
comes the search history again.
Yeah, right.
I do remember
the
those.
thing in the store there.
Yes, the leg
tags
tilt
on. Yeah.
Yeah, you give that a spin.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. Which
I mean, okay, so maybe there's a bit. The shape of that overall is a little bit troublesome to. I mean,
it's no worse than Jeffrey Bezos' rocket.
Well, that's true, but there was no good reason. Now, here to the ladies out there, or maybe if anybody remembers, could you put the pantyhose back in the eggs? Is that how you stored them as well?
Possibly so. Well, what do you think? I mean, if it came out, I could go back in.
Well, if your moms are giving you the eggs, they didn't store their pantyhose in them.
That's true.
Right.
Or maybe
that's what I mean.
Had a run at that point, and they just gave you the egg.
Yeah, I don't think they would have been so willy-nilly with the egg given if they could have just put them back in there. I assume it's like anything else. You could put them back in, but it would be too annoying to try to get them down to that size again and get them in the egg.
Once the toothpaste is out of the tube, can't put it back in.
Yeah.
That makes me think, most tribute bands try to be, at least grand sounding. But one of the original tribute bands in tribute band history in Cincinnati was a Guns N' Roses tribute band, and it was called Runs in Your Hoses. Seriously, I'm not making that up. So
see, the thing about the egg, ridiculous. you could also put the egg into one of the legs of the pantyhose and beat your siblings with it. Yeah, you give them a code red.
It was like a mace.
I see. Yeah.
So we got several comments on the eggs. Celia put Barbie shoes in them.
Nice.
Wow. You could have fit a lot of Barbie shoes in those things.
A couple generations missed out on that. Savannah used to throw them at each other.
Yes.
Nice welt, a nice leg egg welt.
And Gary asked Mork from Orc kill their marketing.
Yeah.
And Celia says doesn't think her mom stored them in the eggs. Once they were out of the egg,
once they hatched.
Yeah.
But
I can't think of anything else though that was marketed that way. Can you think of anything that was? I mean,
off the top of my head, I can't. That had such unique packaging that, Okay, there is one. It's not the same, but it's. Somebody had a brilliant idea because I remember seeing the commercials and it was cheese, but it was wrapped like a Werther's candy, so you could take your cheese with you as a snack and it wouldn't get all, on everything because it was wrapped like candy. But I didn't realize it was cheese. I thought it was candy.
Okay.
And I remember being at someone's house. One of my mom's friends, and they had some. I was like, "Oh, I want to try one." I was so excited. And it was like a sharp cheddar cheese. I thought it was candied. I popped it in, and it was like, and so like one of those misapplied. You know what I mean? Do we really need cheese shaped like candy? Guys got quiet.
Well, Celia's talking.
She's talking.
So she would store them in them.
So sometimes, so not all the time.
So Celia must have called her mom, and her mom says she would store them back in the egg sometime. And also, it was nice to you put a pair in an egg and have them at your place of work. You keep a spare egg of legs.
Spare egg of legs.
Spare egg leg.
Why didn't more undergarments? Why couldn't us men get an egg with some, just a backup pair of underwear at our place?
Underwears.
Yeah. What was it? Mannyhose?
Mannyhose.
It's one of those Spencer's things.
Nice.
All right. Well, it has been good to be back, ladies and gentlemen.
It is. Anything else for the good of the order?
Nope.
I can't think of anything.
I cannot.
unfortunately, I can't speak as to my schedule from day to day at this time of year. So
Yeah.
we'll be on again when we can.
The rain allowed us to broadcast tonight, to podcast.
Well, this was a planned day off anyway. So except for from baseball anyway.
Yeah.
Things will start to lighten up as we get into tournament play, though. Have some more
tournament. It's tournament.
Your
Daniel LaRusso.
I just now started watching season 5 of Cobra Kai, and it's been a while since that came out. But
yeah, we were a little bit late on it too, but it's good. Hate to see it end.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, Savannah. To all the mothers in our lives, happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Definitely. Happy.
Nice flares and such. All right.
Do something nice for your mamas.
Yep. Again, there are platforms right above our heads. Like and follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagrams. Also, listen and watch on YouTube's. Like and follow our show there. Also, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Twitch, Rumble, and iHeart Radio and the iHeart Radio app.
Covers it.
All right. Yep. What say yous? Someone take us out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.